Man, I never thought I'd be sitting here making a video like this about my own brother. You guys know Justin and I have been inseparable since we were kids. He's not just my brother, he's my best friend. But lately, the comments, the DMs, and these photos of him without his ring, I can't ignore them anymore. People are saying the youngest Duggar marriage is already over. They're saying Justin moved back to Arkansas because things in Texas fell apart. It's hard to watch someone you love go through it in the public eye. Tonight, I'm taking you behind the scenes of what's really happening with Justin and Claire. We're talking about the separate homes rumors, why the rings vanished, and the truth about that long drive back from Texas. This isn't just another headline for me, this is family. Is it a rough patch, or is it really a divorce bombshell? Let's get into the truth. So let's get right into it. The photo that started it all, you guys have seen it? Claire is sitting there, totally normal setting, but her left hand is bare, no diamond, no band, nothing. In our world, the ring is everything. It's the symbol of the covenant. Seeing her without it wasn't just a fashion choice. It felt like a signal. And then people started looking at Justin's hands too. Whenever I'm hanging out with Jay, man, I don't usually look at his fingers, but the internet sure does. When the rumors started, I went back and looked at some of our recent vlogs and photos. There are moments where he's working or just hanging out and the ring is missing. Now, look, we're guys. We work with our hands. We do construction. We lose stuff. But the timing of both of them being ringless at the same time is what is everyone talking. It's hard to defend it as a coincidence when the energy between them feels so different lately. I remember the day Justin told us he was moving to Texas. Honestly, it was a shock to the system. We've always been a tight-knit group, especially the younger brothers. But he was so in love, man. He found Claire, and it was like he couldn't wait another second to start his life. He was only 18. Think about that. Most 18-year-olds are worried about their first car. Justin was worried about a mortgage and a marriage in a different state. He dove headfirst into the Spivey family. He was always at their house, working with Claire's dad, doing everything with them. For a while, it looked like he'd found this perfect second home. But maybe, just maybe, it was too much, too fast. Leaving everything you know to blend into another family's world is a lot of pressure for a teenager. I look back at those early photos of them, and they look so happy. But you have to wonder if the reality of forever started to feel a lot heavier once the cameras stopped rolling and the real work of marriage began. Lately, I've been seeing a lot more of Justin around Arkansas, and I'm not talking about quick weekend visits. He's been here for weeks at a time. That drive from Texas to Arkansas is no joke. It's long, it's boring, and it gives you a lot of time to think. When he first got married, he'd only come back for big holidays, and Claire was always right there by his side. He's pulling up in his truck alone. He's hanging out at the shop with us, working on projects like he used to before he got married. It feels like he's trying to find himself again, or maybe he's just looking for a place where he doesn't have to be the husband for a minute. The rumors say he's moved back permanently. I won't confirm that, but I will say that the guest room has been getting a lot of views lately. When you see your brother driving 500 miles alone, you know something is weighing on his heart. He's looking for home, and sometimes home isn't where you thought it would be. It's no secret that when Justin moved to Texas, he didn't just marry Claire. He practically joined the Spivey family business. He was always with Claire's dad, Rob, working on houses and learning the ropes. For a long time, it seemed like he had finally found a place where he could be his own man away from the Duggar name. He was Justin the Builder, not just Justin the reality star. But lately, the social media tags have stopped. The Spivies are very active online. But Justin hasn't been in their family photos for months. It makes you wonder if that perfect bond started to fray. When you're living in your in-laws' backyard and working for them every day, there's no room for space. If things are rocky with your wife, it becomes rocky with your boss and your entire social circle. I think Justin started to feel suffocated by the very thing that used to make him feel safe. He's always been loyal, but even loyalty has its limits when you feel like you're losing yourself. Let's be real for a second. Justin was 18 when he got engaged. I was there. I saw the excitement. But looking back, man, 18 is so young to make a forever decision. In our world, There is this massive pressure to get married early, start the family, and be this perfect example of a Christian couple. You don't get a chance to just be a young guy and figure out who you are. Justin went from being the kid brother at home to being a head of household overnight. That is a heavy weight to carry. I think the reality of that pressure started to set in once the initial honeymoon high wore off. You realize that marriage isn't just about the cute Instagram posts. It's about bills, communication, and compromise. When you're both still basically teenagers, those challenges can feel like mountains. I think the public expects them to have it all figured out, but they're still just kids trying to navigate a very adult world. You guys noticed it too, right? The digital blackout. Justin and Claire used to post these sweet updates all the time, anniversaries, date nights, just hanging out. But then the posts just stopped. No more I love my wife captions, no more date night stories. In 2026, social media silence is the loudest noise you can make. When a couple that used to be public goes dark, it usually means they're trying to hide the cracks. They don't want to post a fake smile. But they aren't ready to tell the truth yet either. It's that awkward middle ground where you're just waiting. I've seen Justin check his phone and just sigh. He doesn't want to engage with the "where is Claire" comments anymore. That silence isn't a coincidence, it's a shield. They're trying to figure out if there's even anything left to post about. This is the rumor that's hitting the hardest right now. The idea that they aren't even living under the same roof. People have been spotting Justin back at the car lot here in Arkansas, working regular shifts. Meanwhile, Claire is still posting from Texas. The distance between Tonatown and Amarillo is about 500 miles. You don't just commute that for work. If Justin is here and she's there, it tells me they've hit a point where they need space, physical space. It's hard to hear people say, "I told you so," because they got married young. I hate that for him. But seeing his truck parked in our driveway every morning, it's a reality you can't ignore. Whether it's a permanent move or just a break, the fact is that the Texas life he moved for isn't his reality right now. He's back in the hills of Arkansas, trying to clear his head. I'm going to be careful with what I say here because I want to respect my brother's privacy. But we had a long talk recently, just us working on a truck out in the shop. And he was just quiet. He finally looked at me and said, "James, it's just not what I thought it would be." He didn't go into the drama or blame anyone. He just looked tired. He looked like a guy who had tried his absolute best and still felt like he was failing. I told him, "Man, you're my brother. You don't have to be perfect for me. You just have to be okay." We didn't even mention the word divorce, but the weight of it was in the room. He's hurting and he's confused. He loves Claire, but sometimes love isn't enough to bridge the gap between two people who grew up too fast. That talk confirmed for me that this isn't just internet gossip. This is a real struggle for a guy who just wanted a happy life. People really started sounding the alarm when the big family photos started coming out. We had a few gatherings recently, and for the first time since they got married, Justin was there without Claire. In our family, if you're married, you're a unit. You show up together. Seeing him standing in the back of the group, looking a bit forced to smile. While Claire was hundreds of miles away posting from a different event, it was loud. It wasn't just that she was busy, it felt intentional. In 2026, every photo we post is scrutinized, and they know that. By choosing to appear separately at major events, they were basically telling the world that the unit is broken. It's hard to watch the comments section tear into him for being alone, but honestly, the photos speak for themselves. The physical distance is becoming impossible to hide behind excuses anymore. I have to get this off my chest. Some of the comments I see are just heartless. I see people almost celebrating the idea of their marriage failing just because they don't like our family's beliefs. They act like this is just a plot point in a TV show they're watching. But this is my brother's life. This is a real guy with real feelings who is dealing with a possible heartbreak. Just because he grew up on camera doesn't mean he doesn't deserve privacy and respect. People feel entitled to every detail of his divorce if that's where this is heading. But they forget that there are real families and real emotions involved. It's one thing to be curious, it's another to be cruel. Just sees those comments, and I can tell you, It makes the healing process 10 times harder when the whole world is cheering for your downfall. A lot of you ask why they don't just come out and say what's going on. In our world, it's not that simple. There are layers of privacy and sometimes legal reasons why we can't just speak our minds. There's been talk about NDAs and family agreements that keep things quiet. If there is a legal separation or a divorce happening, there are often papers signed that prevent either side from talking to the media. They're stuck in this limbo where they can't defend themselves or explain the situation without risking a lot. That's why you see the cryptic posts or the long stretches of silence. They are trapped between wanting to be honest and needing to be safe. It's a frustrating place to be, and I know Justin feels the weight of that silence every single day. Work has always been Justin's escape. He's always been the type to just put his head down and stay busy. When he was in Texas, he was all in on the Spivey construction projects. But lately, he's been back in Arkansas working with the family businesses here. He's back at the car lot. He's doing property maintenance. And he's back to the Arkansas hustle. Some people say this is proof he's moved back for good. While I'm glad to have him around and working with us again, I know why he's doing it. He needs to feel useful. He needs to feel like he has a purpose outside of his marriage troubles. Working with your hands is a way to stop your mind from racing. He's back to his roots, and while the work is familiar, you can tell his heart is somewhere else entirely. I also want to take a second to think about what Claire is going through. It can't be easy being a Duggar bride from the moment she said, I do. She was under a microscope. She's young, just like Justin, and she had to deal with the pressure of a massive spotlight and a very public family. If she's the one who stayed in Texas while he came here, she's probably feeling a lot of isolation too. I've always liked Claire. She's a sweet girl, but marriage is a two-way street. And when it breaks down, both people suffer. I think she's trying to find her own footing now, away from the Duggar shadow. And that has to be terrifying. She didn't just lose a husband. She's at risk of losing the entire community she married into. That's a lot for any young woman to handle. A lot of people think my dad, Jim Bob, has the final say in everything we do. When it comes to a marriage hitting a rough patch, especially the youngest one in the family, you know there are intense conversations happening behind closed doors. In our family, divorce isn't really an option we talk about. I know Dad wants Justin to succeed and for the family image to stay strong, but Justin is a man now. He's making his own choices. I think there's a tension between the family rules and the real life pain Justin is feeling. It's a lot to navigate when your personal heartbreak is also a family PR crisis. Justin isn't just fighting for his marriage. He's fighting the expectations of a legacy he didn't ask for. Have you ever gone back through someone's feed and noticed something is missing? Fans have pointed out that some of the old mushy, gushy posts on Justin and Claire's accounts have quietly disappeared. In 2026, deleting a photo is like erasing a memory. It's a way of saying that version of us doesn't exist anymore. When Justin is sitting there on his phone, I see him scrolling past old memories with a look of regret. Cleaning up your social media is usually the first step toward a legal cleanup. It's a quiet way to prepare the public for a big announcement without having to say a word. It's painful to see those happy moments get deleted, but sometimes it's the only way to move on. Look, I'm an optimist. I want to believe that every marriage can be saved. We talk a lot about seasons of life in our house. Maybe this is just a really, really hard season for them. Maybe the distance is exactly what they need to realize they want to be together, but the public makes it so much harder. When every person on the street is asking where your wife is, it puts you on the defensive. It makes you want to hide. I hope for Justin's sake that they can find a way back to each other, but I also know that you can't force a season to end just because it's uncomfortable. They have to do the work, and right now, the work seems to be happening in separate states. The shadow of counting on is long, man. Even though the cameras stopped rolling years ago, Justin and Claire are still living in that shadow. People still see them as the kids from the show. They don't see the adults who are struggling with real world problems. The fame gave them a platform, but it also took away their right to fail in private. If they were just any other 20-something couple in Arkansas or Texas, they could break up and move on without a documentary being made about it. But because of the show, their pain is public property. That's a heavy price to pay for a childhood spent on child vision. I'm going to be very clear about one thing. I am standing by Justin. Whether he stays married, gets a divorce, or something in between, he is my brother first. I've seen him at his highest and I've seen him at his lowest these past few months. My job isn't to judge him or tell him what to do with his marriage. My job is to be the guy who hands him a wrench in the shop and talks about trucks until he feels normal again. Our family is complicated and our lives are public, but our loyalty to each other has to be absolute. I won't let the internet trolls or the rumors define who my brother is. He's a good man going through a hard time. So where do we go from here? Over the next 6 months, I think we're going to see one of two things. Either there's going to be a very formal, very quiet announcement, or the silence would just continue until it becomes the new normal. Justin is settling back into his life in Arkansas. He's finding a rhythm here. If Claire stays in Texas, the physical reality will eventually force a legal reality. I don't think they can stay in this limbo for forever. Whatever happens, it's going to be a turning point for our family. It's a reminder that no one, not even a Duggar, is immune to the struggles of real life. Final thoughts, being a Duggar is a blessing in many ways, but it makes marriage 10 times harder. You aren't just marrying a person, you're marrying a brand, a history, and a set of massive expectations. Justin tried to build a life outside of that in Texas, and I respect him for it. But the name followed him. If this is the end for him and Claire, I hope people remember that they are two human beings who were brave enough to try, eat if it didn't work out. The cost of our name is high, but the cost of our happiness is higher. I just want my brother to be happy again. Thanks for listening to The Truth.